You hear those cicadas? It's going to be a hot one today. What's up, guys? My name is Phil. Welcome back to Miranda Detailing. So in today's episode, we have this Mustang GT in for our diamond service. So with this process, you're going to see the pre-wash, the washing phase, the decon phase. If we need to use any type of chemical decon, then we'll do that. But usually it's just using the clay mitt or the clay bar to get the paint nice and smooth. We'll inspect the paint, we'll see what else it needs, and then we'll go ahead with whatever protection that we choose to put on it today. And as far as the inside goes, it'll be deep cleaned. If we need to steam, if we need to extract, we'll do that as well. Now, when it comes to any type of detailing service, we only do what is needed. We don't arbitrarily just do these steps on every single vehicle, no matter what, such as extracting or polishing or anything like that. If it needs it, if it calls for it, we'll do it. Otherwise, it's not really prudent to just do things arbitrarily just because so many other YouTubers or other detailers do it. If you are an enthusiast or you do this, I don't know, on the side for fun or whatever, then you can go as far as you so choose. But as a business, doing multiple cars a week, a month, hundreds of cars a year, you have to think from a business standpoint. Clean what is dirty and inspect the rest. Make sure everything else looks good, but leave it at that. Don't go overboard and don't just arbitrarily do steps that don't need to be taken. It'll be a waste of money and a waste of time. So that's just a quick little business tip for you guys that are in the business of it. But again, if this is a side gig, if this is, something you do for your own vehicle, you can go as crazy as you want. Buy the best of the best and spend hours and hours and hours, scrubbing your leather or polishing a section of paint until it's nice and thin. You do whatever you want. So let's inspect this vehicle. Now, here are some things to note when you are starting on a vehicle. Before you touch anything, let's look for any things that may be of concern. One of the things that you may have noticed as we're panning across, we have chips in the vinyl. So these we have to be very careful with when pressure washing and when washing, making sure no mitts or anything grab and continue to ruin that. So those are things to keep an eye out for. The vinyl has a few little chips here and there already. Also look out for things like this. We already have some fading on this little light fixture up here. So don't know if this will polish out or not. Most likely this is very, very thin. So that's why it's starting to break down. As we look in the front here, we're gonna see probably some rock chips. I don't see a ton yet, but as we move around the vehicle, we'll most likely see it. And more chipping here on the vinyl. So these are things to keep an eye on and also to document before you start a detail, just so you have that documented. All right, so let's begin with the pre-wash, washing. We'll go through those phases. So guys, with the new IK Foamer, I shouldn't say new, it's new to me. The Foamer Pro 12 here, we have the little air inlet. All you need to do is take your air compressor, fill it up. And this little thing will come up and turn green, and if it's too much pressure, it'll hiss and release the pressure. But it only takes a few seconds to go up to pressure, and then that little thing will pop up. There we go. And it'll release as much pressure as it needs to go back to what it needs, and it's all set.
So as we begin our wash process, we wanted to first hit these bugs. Now we usually just blast it with an APC because that also works, but since we had this insect eliminator from the Glovebox detail subscriptions, we're going to use it, and I have to say I was pretty impressed.
So now we continue our wash process with a thorough rinse and APC rinse. We also just got the IK Pro 12 foamer and instantly fell in love with it. We filled it with Super Clean diluted 1:4, which works as a great APC rinse. The insect eliminator did its work eating those delicious bugs, so we gently agitated it with the bug mitt, also from the Glovebox detail boxes.
Next, we foamed it down with Drift Shampoo from Total Detailing's Auto Surface Protection products. Now remember, by this stage, the moderate to heavy dirt, grime, and damage material has been removed and or softened so that a gentle wash with our soft mitts will easily loosen and remove it from the paintwork. No scratching or marring is taking place. We also at this point use a clay mitt to mechanically decon all the top surfaces of the vehicle, and a regular clay bar for all the bottom surfaces, which usually has heavier bonded bits that need a little bit more work to remove. Now again, will claying either using a mitt or bar cause any issues? Well, it depends on the paint. Usually, whether using a clay bar during the wash process or after with a clay lubricant, it will cause some minor marring. But once again, this is easily removed with a gentle polish or machine-applied wax or sealant.
After pulling the vehicle into the garage, we towel and blow dry the wheels and trim.
All right, let me videotape this. Videotape.
For the plastic trim and honeycomb grill pieces, we use Stoner's Trim Shine.
As far as the interior goes, it was in pretty good shape, but it still needed some proper cleaning.
right, interior is looking good. That's all cleaned up. We didn't have to do any extracting and really no steaming involved. We just used chemicals. We damp shampooed the carpets. That's a method that we learned a long time ago from actually a fellow detailer and YouTuber, Gary Dean. He actually, showed that process. And if the carpets don't need all the steaming and extraction to get saturated, do what's called a damp shampoo. Use an all-purpose cleaner, use a damp towel, and it kind of mops up the carpet, cleans the surface, it dries quickly. It's a really, really good process, a good method to use if you don't need to go that far. People feel that steaming sanitizes and all of that. Well, there's some, questioning behind that. You see a lot of guys steaming inside the vents and claim that it sanitizes, when in fact that does not. You'll kill stuff in the beginning here of the vent, but you're filling that whole system with moisture, and there's pockets in there that even the blowers, when you have it blowing out, it's not going to completely dry. You have to keep that blowing for a long time to dry everything, and those pockets of water don't dry 100%. Now you may have mold issues. So I never steam in the vents like you see and have all the steam come out of the vents. That's not really sanitizing that much. So I stopped doing that a long time ago after I did some research and found that that's just not the case. So there's a lot of myths out there of detailing that say that you need to do this or do that. It's just ridiculous. So do what you need to do, and use some thinking ability, use some reasonableness, and do some research as well. So if the carpets don't need all that steaming and getting them wet for no reason at all, your cleaner will clean everything appropriately. So all the Alcantara was cleaned with the Alcantara cleaner. That stuff is nice. This we purchased from Car Supply's warehouse. It's Sonax, and it's a nice dry shampoo, basically. You can use it on any type of upholstery, in fact. So you could use it on the carpets, but I reserve this for Alcantara. Now, yes, you could use a regular all-purpose cleaner for Alcantara. That's completely fine, but since I have this, I use it, and I think it does a really good job. So Alcantara is looking clean. It's nice and fresh. Interior is looking awesome. Really, really nice. So we're done with that. Let's start on the exterior protection. So we hit all of the trim already with Stoner's Trim Shine. So that's been dwelling. And let's work on the paint. This goes back up here. We have some specialty interior cleaners in here as well. So here's what we're going to use. Some lithium gloss sauce and the new Technician's Choice graphene detail spray. Let's get started.
You may have noticed we started using this little DA polisher to apply our waxes and sealants. This little handy polisher is not meant for true polishing or even enhancements. It doesn't really have the power for that. However, for simply applying waxes or sealants, it's perfect.
Wow, the gloss is awesome. It's glossum? No, it's gloss sauce. It's not glossum. Don't get confused.
We also polished and coated the windshield. A little extra bonus for our customers. Shh, don't tell. You're probably watching this, aren't you? Well, you're welcome.
Tires and wheels were dressed and protected also.
And exhaust tips also needed some heavy polishing, just to finish everything off.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, let me know down below. And if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with others who may enjoy it or benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe and click that bell so you don't miss stuff. And if you're interested in the products that we use today, check out the links down in the description. Otherwise, if you already have products that work for you, then keep using them. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.